Welcome to the Front 7 Podcast, right here on YouTube. I am your host, Money Mike. And, I'm in the middle of trying to crank out a bunch of draft videos as we are just days away from the 2016 NFL Draft. And in the midst of while I'm trying to do all these videos, something else breaks. Let's go back a year. Basically, at this point, we were expecting Tom Brady to be suspended for the first 4 games of the 2015 season. Now, that ruling got overturned. Brady played the whole year. Patriots made it to the AFC Championship game. They lost to the Broncos. And then everything went back to the courts this offseason. So here we are, 1 year later, dealing with this dumb Deflategate thing that I've been done with for over a year. To me, Tom Brady played 2015. Just go ahead and forget about it, right? I mean, that's what I say. Just go on and forget about it. I don't know why the NFL is pushing this. But if you want to go back and listen to my original thoughts on Deflategate, I have a link in the description. And I have a little speech bubble here on the screen that you can click on as well if you want to hear my original thoughts that I had last year on Deflategate when this first broke. So now Tom Brady is suspended for the first 4 games of 2016. Now, granted, I expect, once again, to go through this whole entire thing where the NFL will not stop until Tom Brady serves his 4-game suspension. Because, I just cannot imagine a scenario where the NFL would be happy if Tom Brady avoided his suspension 2 years in a row. I just can't see that. It seems to me Roger Goodell is hell-bent on ensuring that Tom Brady indeed serves his 4-game suspension in 2016. Now, for the Patriots, when you look at their schedule, you look at the first 4 games of the year, all of a sudden, this suspension throws an entire loop or a wrench into Week 1, the very first Sunday Night Football game, where the Arizona Cardinals host the New England Patriots. In this game, it was going to be a battle of two teams, a potential Super Bowl preview between Tom Brady and Carson Palmer. And now it's going to be Jimmy Garoppolo versus Carson Palmer. And then after the Cardinals, which I think even with Brady, I think there was a chance they might have lost. Even though right now, they haven't done much to show that they're improving their secondary. They haven't done much in the offseason. I know they're going to get Tyrann Mathieu back. He's going to be healthy. But we saw what Cam Newton did in the NFC Championship game to the Cardinals defense. This actually helps the Cardinals because would Jimmy do what Tom Brady would do against their defense? No. And Tom Brady is on a whole nother level than Cam Newton. And we saw what Cam Newton did to that defense in the NFC Championship game. And then, for the New England Patriots, after a tough road game, which should be a road loss, if this suspension stands, again, last year we thought the suspension was going to stand, but Brady ended up playing the whole season. So everything became a moot point, and he was able to play against the Steelers in Week 1. But when you look at this year, it should be an expected loss to Arizona, especially now with Brady out. You have Miami in week number 2. We see it every year. Fans, they keep saying, the Patriots have an easy schedule. They're in a soft division. And I would agree. Because we're still waiting for a team to knock the Patriots off their pedestal. The Dolphins haven't done it. The Jets really are the only closest ones to do so. If they can figure out the quarterback situation first. And they don't play the Jets until Sunday night, November 27th, in New York. So that's their first game against the Jets. Meanwhile, you have the Dolphins in week number 2. You have the Bills in week number 4. And you have a game against J.J. Watt and the Texans. And the newly acquired quarterback, Brock Osweiler, who, by the way, beat the Patriots as a Denver Bronco last year and gave the Patriots their first loss of the regular season last year. And then you got the Bills in week number 4. I think this might be Rex Ryan's best chance at beating Bill Belichick. We know Rex Ryan is obsessed with doing so, and he may finally be able to do it, but he's not going to be able to say that he did it by beating Tom Brady, by beating the Patriots when Tom Brady was the starter. And then he comes back in week number 5 against the Cleveland Browns. How angry and pissed off is Tom Brady going to be that when he comes back to Cleveland, this is at Cleveland, by the way, at Cleveland, and we see how much that the Browns pretty much are at this point and how depleted they are since they're doing a full house cleaning. I mean, how many touchdowns is Tom Brady going to throw in order to make a point to the NFL when he comes back for week number 5, if he does serve his suspension? Because we thought he was going to serve it last year. Then he comes back after the Cleveland game. His second game back is against the Cincinnati Bengals. And then on the road in Pittsburgh, facing the Steelers is his third game back. Before another game with the Bills, and then the Seahawks. So, it seems outside of Arizona, the Patriots, without Brady, should be okay. At best, I would say if Jimmy Garoppolo has learned enough from sitting on the bench behind Brady, similar to Aaron Rodgers, when he learned so much from sitting behind Brett Favre, okay, I can see 3-1, beating the Dolphins, beating the Texans, beating the Bills, but losing to the Cardinals. Now, maybe they lose to the Texans, so maybe at worst I can see 2-2. I mean, obviously the worst case scenario is 1-3 that Tom Brady would be coming back to, but I mean, here we go again, folks. Tom Brady is suspended. I feel like a broken record here from 1 year ago. Will he serve a suspension this time? Who knows? Leave your comments below. Stay tuned all week leading up to the draft, as I will have much more videos and more videos coming out. More than I've ever done probably in a week. All because of the 2016 NFL Draft being on Thursday. So this is going to be a fun week here on this channel. There's a link in the description where you can subscribe, or you can click on the screen there in the little speech bubble, whichever you prefer. So subscribe for more of the Front 7 this week, more of the Everything Else podcast, in which, I don't discuss politics. I stay away from politics. But when you start mixing politics with sports, that's when I have a problem. And you do not want to miss a very special Everything Else podcast related to that topic and mixing politics in sports. So the only time that I will be discussing politics on this channel, for the most part, as long as there are no other times that politics mixes in with sports, then this will be it. And again, like last year, I will have an AFC, NFC draft recap after the draft at some point. So maybe we'll know more about Tom Brady's suspension by after the draft and into the summer as we head into training camp. And again, like I said, I feel like a broken record. Why do I feel like I've said this stuff already? I just hope, for the Patriots' sake, they just convince Tom Brady to take his 4-game suspension so that the NFL and Roger Goodell can finally shut up and just let this all go, okay? Because if they try to fight this, I mean, we could be at this same, I could be repeating myself next year when we're talking about the 2017 season, and we're still trying to figure out if Tom Brady is going to serve his suspension or not. I've been your host, Money Mike. Again, stay tuned for a bunch of draft videos coming up and a very special Everything Else podcast. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, folks.